Central Province teachers frustrated over delayed payments. 26,000 students have access to online selection. And Moni Plus opens Alotau branch.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Thursday's news. Teachers from Central Province have expressed disappointment over the delay in payments of their leave entitlements. Most who teach in rural areas travelled into Port Moresby today at their own expense to speak with authorities regarding this issue. Rosemary Ambune reports.
Today, the Central Provincial Government's headquarters was packed with disappointed teachers seeking answers from authorities over a delay in their leave fares yet again. For many, leave applications were submitted in June this year, with their leave entitlements expected to be ready soon after the close of the academic year, early in December. But for all these teachers, disappointment yet again.
I'm here again, waiting for my leave fare for this year. I came last week, and I'm residing with some one talks in the town. I'm up at Gereu. I'm living in a really very crowded place there, and then I'm not finding very good to stay there.
This delay in payment also saw some teachers raising concerns on outstanding leave entitlements from previous years. Provincial Education Division Superintendent Operations Gaile Gauma explained the reasons that caused the delay in the payment of the leave fares.
The first part of the delay is as I've said, warrant received by the department, Central Province, but the money itself in the bank was not there. And lately we have received it. That is the number one delay. Number two delay, I could say that our power, as teachers have witnessed, is not up to the expectation, meaning it's on, off and all that.
Mr. Gauma said authorities were fully aware of the delay and would be working overtime to fast-track this process. Rosemary Ambune, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, the Morebay Education Division has allocated 7.2 million kina for teachers' leave fares from an 8 million kina budget promised for teachers this year. According to the Provincial Program Advisor for Education, Keith Jerram, the division's leave fares committee rejected 229 applications from 1,079 that were submitted. The teachers are expected to be paid starting next week.
The Provincial Program Advisor for Education in Morebay says 1,079 teachers have applied for the leave fares this year. However, only 850 teachers will be paid. The Provincial Leave Fares Committee did not approve the other 229 applications.
Because maybe teachers submitted the application forms with false information. So the Leave Fare Committee, in their wisdom decision, ruled them as not approved.
Last year, a budget of 8 million kina was promised by Morebay Education Division and Administration to be allocated for this year's payment towards teachers' leave fares. Due to the 229 applications rejected, only 7.2 million kina will be paid to the teachers of Morebay.
Their dependent will be 2,371, looking at their wives and their children. They are also benefiting in our leave fares. And this is the normal thing that we do annually. This year, we are happy. I spoke to teachers, not me only, but my senior officers. We addressed teachers this morning. They were happy and they're gone home. Starting Wednesday, we will start paying our teachers' leave fares. And the arrangement is we start with Southern Region. And Thursday, we'll be going into NGI. And Friday, we'll touch Highlands. And Saturday, over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we will touch the Momase.
In 2017, some teachers claimed that their desired mode of transportation indicated in their leave fare application was not granted. Some teachers from the Highlands region said they have indicated to travel by air to their provinces. However, the leave fares were calculated to travel by road. Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Leh.
About 26,000 grade 12 students from across the country can now find out if they have successfully made it into tertiary institutions in 2019. This was made possible through the national online selection launched today.
That's better. How is Madang?
This morning, history was made when the selection for tertiary studies in 2019 was completed within half a minute. All this is part of the new online selection system adopted by the Office of Higher Education. Minister responsible Pila Niningi and Acting Secretary Fadayan Juba joined selectors from various tertiary institutions from around the country who dialed in via video for this occasion.
We sent invitation letters to 29,000 students. However, we learned quickly that approximately 2,300 students withdrew, so they were not anymore in the schools.
For the first time, a grace period of 70 hours was given to the students to make changes to their choice of tertiary institution. This grace period was given following the release of grade 12 national exam results on December 9th. About 14,000 students amended their choices within the 70-hour grace period.
By the end of the grace period, a total of 14,740 students, grade 12, were able to make adjustment. They adjust their own choices to programs. They make 91,021 adjustments.
Students attending private schools will also be given the opportunity to be selected into PNG tertiary institutions in this year's national selection. Honorable Niningi said that it is the right of every student to be given an opportunity to attend a tertiary institution.
Constitutionally, every student born in the country has that right. That right, no one, no Prime Minister, no Minister, no Secretary, nobody has a right to take that right away.
The final confirmed number of students selected to tertiary institutions will be made known tomorrow, with an official list to also be published. Michelle Awamoromoro, National EMTV News.
Education Minister Nick Kuman has expressed disappointment at Madang MP Brian Kramer for posts made on social media regarding the possible PM candidacy in the coming vote of no confidence. Minister Kuman is now calling on the Madang MP to respect senior national leaders and abide by proper parliamentary processes.
With a proposed vote of no confidence set to take place when Parliament resumes early next year, Minister Kuman has called on Madang MP Brian Kramer to respect senior government leaders, including the processes of Parliament. Kramer's post on his Facebook page, Kramer Report, dated on the 9th of December 2018, suggested Sir Peter Ipatas as a candidate for the Prime Minister's seat. In response to this, the PNC member and Education Minister had this to say.
The honourable members see fit to bring into question some of the very senior leaders of this country who are in the government. Bring into question and propose them as a possible candidate for a leadership or as the Prime Minister of this country.
Specifically, Kuman expressed his disappointment towards Kramer in using social media to question the leadership of the Governor for Enga, Sir Peter Ipatas, in proposing him as a possible candidate for the Prime Minister's seat.
I find it disturbing and extremely disappointed.
Kuman emphasized the importance of following proper procedures and processes involved on the floor of Parliament.
As members of this of Parliament, we are all required to ensure that there is no decorum. And it's a process that will ensure that if the vote of no confidence is to be brought against the government of Onin, there's a choice that they have to make.
Minister Kuman implied that such issues as the vote of no confidence is of parliamentary importance and that there is no need to go on social media about this issue.
It's not necessary. And I urged the honourable member of the opposition to respect the leaders in this country.
Elizabeth Guka, National EMTV News.
Heduru Moni Limited's Moni Plus officially opened its Alotau branch on Tuesday. This is the 5th branch the financial company has opened this year and now presents the people of Milne Bay more options in seeking financial services this festive season.
The opening not only signifies the expansion of Moni Plus in the country, but is seen as an opportunity for the people of Milne Bay. Milne Bay being a maritime province with almost 70% of its population living in isolated islands, financial inclusion has been an ongoing problem. With the opening of the Moni Plus branch, it now allows for more competition in the financial sector and providing better loan services to their customers.
And we want to say thank you for choosing Alotau and coming here. So everyone is able to access services that are available in the country and now brought closer to us in town.
Moni Plus first opened its doors in 1998, providing small personal loans for salaried employees. In 2006, it became a fully licensed financial institution which expanded its lending portfolio. Today, it has offices in Port Moresby, Lae, Mount Hagen, Kokopo and Alotau.
We have now arrived in Alotau to give quality service to this province, and then also, like the Bank of PNG say, we could create competition in this marketplace. We got an option now, you guys got an option now to come and check our services, check our rates. If you're not happy, negotiate with management. We are flexible to you guys.
Deputy Prime Minister Charles Abel, who officiated the opening, commended the expansion of Moni Plus and says financial inclusion is a key pillar of the national government. He says the government is now focused on using technology to give people better access to financial services.
We want to create that technological platform that people like yourself can build upon through also the mobile tower network. We use innovation to make financial services accessible to our people. How do we use mobile phones? How do we use the internet platform? How do we use data and voice services to enable simple people through a simple mobile device to be able to transfer money, check their bank balances and so on, apart from accessing financial products like loans and whatnot? I think this is the way for the future.
Stanley Over Jr., National EMTV News.
2 sedans were involved in a road accident in Port Moresby's North Waigani suburb this morning. One vehicle was reported unregistered while the other a registered cab. According to eyewitnesses, no major injuries were sustained by those involved in the accident. However, the vehicles were severely damaged. The cause of the accident is yet to be established, but alcohol was seen inside the unregistered vehicle. This morning's accident caused traffic congestion for at least an hour for those travelling out of Morata. You're with National EMTV News. Stay tuned for more stories coming up after these messages. Welcome back. The Waigani National Court has refused 2 notices of motion filed against 2 police officers involved in the beating of a young man in Kimbe 3 months ago. The first notice was for bail of 500 kina granted, and second is for the duo to remain in custody and complete interrogation by police authorities. Senior Magistrate Cosmas Bidar expressed disappointment on how the Internal Police Affairs is conducting interviews to complete the hearing. The other application is for the hearing to be transferred to Kimbe. According to the police officers handling the case, the duo involved have failed to present themselves for interviews. They will appear in court next month for further hearing. Madang province will be the country's telecommunications hub. The landing of the Kumul submarine cable in Madang will connect all coastal and maritime provinces and will boost telecommunications services. PNG Dataco General Manager Tony Morisau says this will boost internet capacity for individuals, businesses, education and other sectors. Martha Lewis reports.
The landing of the Kumul submarine cable for the country will connect all coastal and maritime provinces. Dataco has already completed landings of the 2,000 kilometers fiber optic cable undersea from Port Moresby into Alotau, Popondetta, Ley and now in Madang. This is a government-initiated project to improve the country's ICT infrastructure.
Really to transform the ICT platform of the country. And also to have an impact on what APEC is. We talk about digital economy. Well, our government has practically taken steps to make sure it happens for the country. So we are in basically an exciting time as a state entity, part of the Kumul Telecom Group. We are so excited to take that initiative on behalf of our government to build this network for our people.
With the cable landing in Madang, there is huge potential for different sectors, including business, education and health. Madang is potentially on the verge of an ICT boom.
Madang itself doesn't really know the potential it has in ICT, but it is one of the provinces that is so blessed and so privileged with the existing PPC-1 that is in place, with our fiber links coming from the mainland or the highlands and Ley coming in, with now this domestic cable coming in. Madang will be a very significant hub for the country in terms of telecommunication. So what it means is that the business houses here will thrive. And for Madang itself, all we can say is that it will be limited by the imagination of the mind. If the business houses and the local community understand the potential of using ICT or internet or telecommunication for growth from the SME level up to the higher or well-structured organizations, Madang will flourish in a very big way.
This cable that now lands at Kina Beach in Madang will terminate at NBC, where Dataco's landing station is located. Maurice Sauce explains that the Thai fiber link between NBC and Telecom will enable switching between domestic and international services. Madang's profile as a communication hub in PNG is set to improve through this new development.
We are able to switch domestically and internationally, so Madang in itself has uplifted its profile in terms of providing ICT for the country. May I also add that in the fiber that we're deploying, you have 4 cores of fiber in there, all right? So 4 cores means 2 core for one service, meaning you transmit and you receive.
Martha Lewis, National EMTV News, Madang.
As part of its community outreach program, Papua New Guinea's National Broadcasting Corporation has transferred a piece of land to the Inga provincial government. A memorandum of understanding was signed between the NBC board and Inga provincial government for development purposes.
NBC board and management transferred 4 hectares of their land at Rakamanda outside Wabek town to Enga provincial government for development purposes. The land has been vacant for more than 2 decades after a tribal fight between the locals. NBC board chairman Timothy Tala says NBC has confidence in the province and its leadership and will continue to support the initiative to develop the province.
Best la grand mibla like give him like a provincial government. I mean no something bla ipatas or Timothy Tala medo. And something bla feature bla beginning bla. So was me give him now time Mr. Bolson chairman now meto beyond by me regret.
The land exchanged to NBC is few meters close to NBC radio station in Wabek town. Enga Governor Sir Peter Ipatas says the province recognized the importance of communication and it will support NBC Wabek in terms of its infrastructure and equipment. The governor says his people are scattered and they need to have access to communication and information. Sir Peter says CPG will utilize the land given to them as part of the town extension program.
It's happened and the state has acquired it. But this time we will be actually going back to our people and working with them. So it's a win for the province as well as it's a win for the landowners. So I just want to let you know.
Provincial Administrator Dr. Samson Amian says the partnership will go a long way for nation building, and he calls for support from different sectors to partner to develop the country. NBC Managing Director Cora No encouraged locals not to destroy public properties. NBC has lost its assets in Enga province to tribal fights in the 80s.
We providing service for people of Enga, people of Imbongo, people of Central. We providing service for people. So selakan passing working Mosambara pinsan NBC imilusim.
Meanwhile, Sir Peter encouraged for public servants to work without political influence. He urged people to respect the system to allow for development to occur. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Wabek.
Stakeholders of Papua New Guinea's fisheries industry have listed lack of infrastructure and productivity as major hurdles that the sector faces. In Hawaii, to observe the ongoing discussions on the Western and Central Pacific fisheries, industry leaders have called on governments to develop these areas.
While some progress has been made in infrastructure, like the Leh Tidal Basin Phase 1, there is a lot more room for much-needed development. According to PNG fisheries industry leaders, some of the major challenges they face on a daily basis is the lack of productivity and slow progress with infrastructure development. According to industry leader and treasurer of the PNG Fishing Industry Association, Fabian Chow, development in these areas is vital to alleviate pressure on the industry and create jobs, especially in the port towns of Leh, Madang and Wewak, where most of the country's onshore processing facilities and canneries are located.
It's a complicated industry where you touch one piece, it may affect the production line somewhere down the road. Like, for example, if you want your fish in, you don't know why the shipping company is not selling his fish to you at the same price he's selling to Bangkok. Because when you sell the fish, in Bangkok he can take it off the wharf straight away. In Leh, you got to wait 3 days until recently. There's a little bit of congestion around some other ports, but there's been major improvements. Let's at least let's give a tick for that. It's a tick, but we need a few more ticks.
Mr. Cho stated that while development won't happen overnight because of infrastructure like water and electricity being relatively more expensive than other fishing nations, development is still needed, and there is still room in Leh for dedicated fishing port. Leanne Jarari, National EMTV News, Honolulu.
The trail has grown cold for the long-anticipated Pacific Marine Industrial Zone in Madang, a project that was to see the development of a regional fisheries hub and the creation of thousands of jobs for locals. Over a decade, around $10 million was spent on the project, but when visiting the development area today, not much can be seen of the project except for a gate at the entrance of the site. Outspoken industry leader Fabian Chow, the country has set itself 10 years behind on the progress it could have achieved, and that today no investor wants to invest in the proposed industrial zone.
We've thrown ourselves 10 years behind the progress that we could have made, whereas PMIZ should have been up and running 10 years ago. But due to wrongful attitudes of just picking up the goal without doing the hard work, we've set it back 10 years. And today, there's nobody wanting to walk into PMIZ. That can change, but not without a change of attitude and without incentives. We've got this situation where we've got to hold the investors by the hand and assure them that they will come through and that productivity and support will be there without delays.
Now, if driving one of the big buses in Port Moresby is one thing that challenges women, then there is a team of mothers who will take on the challenge through the Guinea-Goada Women Bus Driver Training Program. A total of 38 mothers have shown interest in sitting behind the steering wheel of a big bus, one that can carry at least 50 passengers.
These 5 mothers come from all walks of life with unique experiences but have one common interest.
Smile.
They have the desire to serve as a driver on one of the big buses in Port Moresby with confidence and pride. Yes, it can be nerve-wracking, but Rosemary Jo says her biggest challenge was remaining calm when in a line of traffic.
There's too many vehicles, and you know how PNG drivers are. They pop in anytime they want, and you have to be really careful in driving, and you control the vehicle so then it just go the way it should be.
Jessie Yama is a mother of 7 children who heard of the program through a friend. It was a passion to sit behind the steering wheels of a big bus. 4 weeks after the training, and she says she's proud of herself.
Misa dream 3 months straight lo running mol big bus because every time me run the road na me look mol Mary drive. Misa 50 and I go close to straight lo car na Mr. just cut him neck like oh I wish me sit down lo car.
This program is funded by the Canadian government with the aim to give women opportunities to challenge themselves. 38 women have graduated and 12 more will undergo the training in 2019.
The main objective of the project is to empower women to drive big buses, gain confidence, and also do what men are doing.
Becky Iama, another participant, says after being able to drive a big bus, she wants to go a step further, and that is to drive a semi-trailer.
Because I have seen, the ladies drive around, so it was my wish that I wish one day I'd be like her. So when the opportunity came, I just grabbed it. I didn't say no. My family, especially my children, didn't believe. They thought I was crazy, and people thought I was crazy. But I actually took a video of one of the test drives that we went through. I said, if you don't believe me, this is it. And getting on the wheels behind the big unit, I tell you, it was such an experience. But I liked it. I thought it was fun. Not only that, but, gave me the confidence that I can do it.
The first lot of women drivers have gone through similar trainings, but under a different program.
Yeah, the big challenge was turning the roundabout because it was a very big vehicle.
They now drive the Mary Safe buses, which only transport women and girls around Port Moresby.
Traditionally, people in Papua New Guinea believe that women cannot drive big buses. And now through this program, I think a lot of ladies are able to go through this program and confidently drive around the city. So we're happy.
Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Nominations for the 2019 Westpac Outstanding Women Awards officially opened today. Through these awards, Westpac PNG is calling on individuals to recognize outstanding women in various categories. Nominations for the WOW Awards will close on the 11th of February 2019.
Today's launch of the 2019 Westpac Outstanding Women's Awards marks the 12th year of this premier and prestigious awards for women.
The role of women in PNG needs to be elevated from where it is today. Women need to be respected for the important role that they play. They must not be the subject of domestic or other violence, but instead be recognised for the great things that they do.
There are 7 award categories sponsored by PNG's top companies and biggest corporate supporters of women. Westpac enthusiastically welcomed ExxonMobil PNG, who for the first time is also sponsoring an award.
Sponsors all, thank you for supporting Westpac in promoting and advancing women's rights in the workplace and for recognising women's achievement. As business leaders, In leading organisations, we have a role to play.
Present at the launch was WOW Award 2017 overall winner, Ruth Kissam, who explained the importance of her recognition.
The WOW Award for me is not only a recognition of the work that I do in this lonely space of fighting against sorcery, accusation-related violence. The WOW Award for me was the recognition by one of the leading commercial banks in Papua New Guinea's highest platform, a prestigious platform, of recognizing the work that human rights defenders do in the space of sorcery, accusation-related violence.
Nomination forms are available from Westpac branches and through Westpac's website and the Westpac Outstanding Women's Facebook page. Lilian Sopera-Kinea, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News will be back with more after these messages. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Over the past 6 days, motorists in Lae have been facing heavy traffic congestions due to the 21 days road construction at the Bumbu Bridge in Chinatown. Vehicles are currently using the Milford Haven Road from Eriku to Kamkumung due to the Bumbu Bridge closure last week.
This has become a common scene every afternoon since last week Friday. Vehicles lined up as far as Eriku, spending 20 to 30 minutes in traffic due to the Bumbu Bridge closure. Motorists going to Butibam and Beck Road are now following the Milford Haven Road. The 21 days upgrade of the deteriorated Bumbu Road started last week. The road works is funded by the Lae City Authority and is being fixed by the JV PNG Investments Limited. Morella Goro, construction supervisor, says the road is almost done.
There's plenty of activity come up to this lab, but now road and finish. So by after 14 days tasol bambla opening, before Christmas bambla opening
Mr. Goro said the Bumbu Road is one main road that needs to be fixed. Mariboy Nigani, National EMTV News, Lae.
The Teaching and Learning Methods Unit, or TLMU, of the University of Technology organized a one-week program themed My Future is in My Hands. This is part of the university's community outreach role to provide recreational and educational opportunities for youths on campus during the festive season.
More than 50 youths aged 15 years old and above gathered at the Duncanson Hall at the University of Technology. This program is aimed at developing youths, covering topics of social media usage, public speaking, and leadership qualities, amongst others. The Director for Teaching Learning Methods Unit, Dr. Tindi Sejanuru, says they are trying to keep the youths busy during the holidays.
We're trying to help them tap into the hidden potentials that are within them and that they must bring out and, make good use of.
Youths came from within the campus to attend the course. They were shown inspirational videos to help broaden their knowledge on each topic taught. George Victor, a participant, said it will help them mentally and physically.
As for me and the upcoming generation in the future, I think the program and by helping and by molding and by saving as a young citizen of the country.
Another participant, Evalini Jeribilt, said more youths should be involved in such programs.
It informs us a lot about the things that we know, but we need to know more about it. And in other ways, it sort of strengthens us to see what we can do as young people.
Philia Pisep, National EMTV News, Lae.
National EMTV News will be back with some sporting updates in Chukai Sports coming up next.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. Today, 8 teams challenged for a spot in the preliminary finals in the Southern Nines tournament. After the matches, top 4 teams qualified into the quarterfinals, including Maupa Kalana Hobbies, North Dingoes Green, Lako, and the winner of the match between Nego Coast Brothers versus Waira Vanua. Suli Suli with the details.
Competing for the top 4 placings, the first match this afternoon was between Taurama Waves and Maupakala Obis. The game was in favor of Obis, nailing Taurama Waves with a 24-point lead. In the second match, North Dingoes Green from Koyari took on the Maori Eagles. In a close battle, the Dingoes flew over the Eagles with 10 points to nil. While in the third game, the Lako team challenged the Waniela Cavaliers. Lako team came out victorious after beating Cavaliers. In the final round, it was the 2017 Southern Nines winners, Nego Coast Brothers, taking on Waira Vanua. All 4 teams have booked a spot in the preliminary finals, which will be played tomorrow. Grand final will be played right after the preliminary matches. Suli Suli, National EMTV Sports.
PNG Rugby Football League appointed SP Hunters and Kumul's team manager Arnold Krawanti as the new National Schools Rugby League manager. This announcement was made known by PNG RFL Chief Executive Officer Alotau Rao.
Schools Rugby League plays an essential role in developing future players of the code. Krawanti says his role as manager will be tough, but they will have strict plans and procedures in place to carry out the competition effectively.
You want to groom a rugby league player from the early stages of life when any kid wants to get up and go play rugby league. So it is exciting times, and I'm actually looking forward to it. I've been involved with the game for quite a while.
Arnold Krawanti joined PNG RFL in 2012 as part of the NRL bid program and was later appointed as the game development manager in 2013. He was then selected as the SP Hunters team manager when they first entered the Queensland Interest Super Cup in 2014. Krawanti, a former Kumul himself, also competed in the schools rugby league competition in the 1970s. He thanked PNG RFL for his appointment as the new Coca-Cola National Schools Rugby League competition manager.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a big challenge, and with the support of the team and the board, of the PNG Rugby League management team and the board, I know they'll be right behind the program as well. So
PNG RFL CEO Alotau Rao is certain Krawanti will develop the National Schools Rugby League competition. Rao was also obstinate in saying the investment by Coca-Cola and other partners into the NSRL competition will be genuinely utilized, and with Krawanti at helm, the competition is sure to reach greater heights.
We want to give assurance to all our partners, especially Coca-Cola, that it's a devoted person that's going to make sure to run this program. The whole PNG Rugby League machine is going to be behind to make sure that we comply or tick the boxes that our partners expect us to do.
The necessary documents and procedures will be sent to schools before the 2019 season begins. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
The National Women's Rugby Union team today visited its major sponsors' operations at Motukea International Terminal. Staff of ICTSI gave the players and the media a tour of the new terminal.
ICTSI South Pacific PNG Palais recently returned back from the Oceania Sevens tournament in Fiji. Today, members of the Palais visited the Motukea International Terminal operated by the team's major sponsor, ICTSI South Pacific, and its partners. The players were taken around the site and shown what ICTSI does at this facility. There, they were shown the loading areas to packing and quarantine, whilst also attending a short briefing on the PPE requirement needed whilst on duty.
Yeah, we're just here to visit the site, Motukea International Terminal, and visit. After this, we're going to be going around and meeting the staff here on ground and visiting the other departments here.
There has been no rest for the Palais, with the team going straight into training in preparations for two major tournaments next year, the Sydney and Hong Kong leg of the 7 series.
So we qualified in Suva at the Oceania Sevens, which was one of our goals for getting back into the Sydney Sevens and the Hong Kong. Right now we're in camp, and this is one of our first training camps under our new coach, which has been really good, and our training program. I think this is one of the first training camps leading into the Sydney Sevens.
The train-on squad is made up of a mixture of players from overseas and in-country. ICTSI Marketing Manager Roberto Deco says ICTSI South Pacific is honoured to back the national women's rugby team, who not only promoting ICTSI South Pacific on the world stage, but more so PNG.
Sponsoring the ladies rugby team is actually part of our growth program, both the business and growing with the local communities. So it's actually a happy time for us that the team that we actually sponsored has actually made it this far.
Now the ICTSI South Pacific Palais, who are here at the Motucare International Terminal, have qualified at the recent Oceania Sevens tournament in Fiji for the Hong Kong leg of 7 series, as well as Sydney. Now the team is currently in training and are also looking forward to attending these two tournaments come early next year. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
Trukai Sports continues with more after the break. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The Coca-Cola Ipatas Cup Southern Leg was always played at the Coney Tigers Oval in Port Moresby. A hard surface, bare earth responsible for bruises and hard knocks to players. But the Coca-Cola Ipatas Cup committee this year has gone up a step in providing a better venue. This time the Southern Leg will be played at the PNG Football Stadium at the Sir John Guy's Sports Precinct.
Falling on a solid surface on the ground that has loose stones will be history. Tomorrow, the Coca-Cola Ipatas Cup, the biggest rugby league off-season tournament that has 13 provinces taking part, will kick off the Southern Leg at a prized venue.
The venue for the Central and NCDC Challenge will be at the Sir John Guy Stadium, PNG Football Oval.
No more bruises and anticipating hard knocks on bare earth. It's about time NCD and Central teams enjoyed the finer facilities of the PNG Football Stadium. Great seating and green grass awaits the teams, a huge contrast from the typical off-season tag that most competitions in Port Moresby carry.
Players coming in, seeing the facilities, with the good field that we have, I think the quality of rugby should improve.
Port Moresby has a good number of rugby league off-season competitions played on bare hard fields. Venues like the Coney Tigers Oval in Waigani, the Hohola EP Park, Unagi Oval and Kaugere are among some of the fields around the city. But when it comes to the Ipatas Cup and the NCD Governors Cup, teams in the 3 electorates around the city come together to showcase the urban rugby league talent. Previously, the main venue was the Coney Tigers Oval at Waigani, but now the Ipatas Cup Southern Leg has stepped up to a world-class venue, the PNG Football Stadium within the Sir John Guy Sporting Precinct.
It would help a lot of our players, especially the players that come from our suburbs, the one that normally play at Coney Tigers and Hola. I think it's a good boost for them to actually, and it sort of mindset, gives them a positive mindset.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
Overseas now, and to boxing. Joseph Parker now knows exactly what he's in for this weekend. His Mexican-American opponent Alexander Flores has joined him in Christchurch, promising to knock the Kiwi favourite not just to the canvas, but out of future title contention. And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather details coming up next.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
Looking at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow, fine, although cloudy in Port Moresby and Kerema, cloudy showers in Daru, mostly fine weather in Alotau, and a shower or two can be expected in Popondetta. In the Mamasa region, fine, although cloudy in Lae, mostly fine weather in Vanimo, showers in Wau, and although cloudy, Medang and Wewak can expect some showers. In the New Guinea Islands region, mostly fine in Lorengau, Kavieng, Kokopo and Rabau, cloudy with thunderstorms in Kimbe and a shower or two in Buka. And in the Highlands region, showers and fog right across the region in Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kondiawa, Mendi and Wabeg.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for today, Thursday, 13th of December 2018. On behalf of the EMTV News team right around the country and myself, pleasant viewing on your number one to watch. Good night.